Right. Last time we talked about um, percentages in 10.1, and one of the main applications of percentages is interest rates. So that's what we're going to be talking about here in 10.2. We're going to use the simple interest formula to calculate ordinary interest. So the simple interest formula is I is equal to capital P times lowercase r times lowercase t. Uh, Capital I is interest, capital P is principal, lowercase r is the interest rate written as a decimal, and T is the time. Make sure that your rate is going to be given to you in terms of some period of time, whether it is annual. Usually that's what it is. Usually it's an APR. It's an annual percentage rate, or a monthly rate, or a daily rate, or so on. Make sure that your period of time matches there. Usually R is going to be, like I said, an APR. It's going to be in years, and T is going to be in years, but not always. So uh, let's go ahead and determine the simple interest rate. The rate is an annual rate unless otherwise stated, and assume 360 days in 1 year, which is called the banker's rule. So uh, we're given that P, our principal, is $775. Our R is 7.25%, which is 0.0725. And our T is 60 days, and we need to change that into a part of a year. So 60 divided by 360 is going to be 1/6. By the way, these problems are like those from 10.2, numbers 11, 13, 15, and 17. So my simple interest is going to be I equals P is 775 times 0.0725 times 1/6. So let's go ahead and use our scientific calculator to figure out what that is. Just a second for mine to load up here. 775 times 0.0725 times 1 divided by 6 is going to be $9.36. We're rounding to the nearest cent, I assume. Yep, round to the nearest cent is needed, so 9.36. Now let's look at the next problem that says that P is 5.84 and R is 0.051%. That's a really low interest rate, but it says per day. And T is equal to 3 months. So let's go ahead and figure out what our interest rate would be for a year by multiplying 0.051 times 360 to get that to a year. 0.051 times 360 is 18.36. per year. So that's 0.1836. I can deal with that. And then 3 months out of 12 months is going to be 1/4. So this is going to be I equals 584 times 0.1836 times 1/4, or 0.25. 584 times 0.1836 times 0.25 is 2681, and that's a lot of interest to be paying in a 3-month period of time on a loan that's small. This is probably like a payday loan, something like that, where they're charging you daily interest. As opposed to look at this one that was a couple months on a significantly larger loan, and we paid way less interest. So watch out for those deceivingly low interest rates that are daily interest rates. You usually don't want to borrow money from somewhere that charges you interest daily. All right, let's look at the next problem here. Determine the simple interest. Again, the rate is annual unless stated otherwise, and assume 360 days in a year. So P is going to be 512.94. R is 6.3%. That's 0.063. And T is 83 days. And we're going to have to divide that by 360 days in a year to get 83 over 360. Let's see if this comes out to be a nice number. It does not, so I'm just going to leave it as 83 over 360 for now. I is equal to PRT, so 512.94 times 0.063 times 83 over 360. 512.94 times 0.063 times 83 over 360. And that comes out to be about $7.45. Determine the simple interest. P equals 1148.31. R equals 1 4/5%, or 1.8% is what that is, which is 0.018. T is equal to 6 months, which is equal to 1/2 of a year. So we want I is equal to P times R times T. And I get $10.33. And that makes sense for that amount of money for that amount of time. So that's it for this video. We will come back next time. We use the same formula that we're dealing with, but we won't always be solving for I. We're going to be solving for any of the variables in the formula. There will be one number that's missing. So sometimes we'll be solving for R, sometimes for P, sometimes for I, sometimes for T. We'll come back and we'll do that in the next video where we have to rearrange the formula to solve for the missing variable. So see you for the next video.